Okay, now that we've removed the battery and discharged the power from the unit, now we need to remove the screws holding the bezel in place. So right down here in the lower corner, there's two little plastic stickers that we need to pop off. And then we need to fold the screen back as far as it will go, and then get our small Phillips screwdriver down here into the screw and carefully remove it. And then we need to go around the bezel with our flathead, carefully popping it loose. So now we can see where the screws are for the screen. Go around and remove the two top screws first. Then loosen the bottom screws without removing them, so that we can get access to the screws on the side of the screen. And we can remove the screws holding the edge of the frame to the screen. One at the top and one at the bottom. Okay. And it might come in handy if you have a magnetic tip screwdriver, which I don't at the moment. Makes it a little more difficult because then the screws do not stick to your screwdriver. Now we have our screen removed. We can gently lay it down and zoom in on this connector piece right here. Now you want to carefully pry up the tape that's holding this connector to the screen very carefully. And then carefully pull the connector out. Remove your broken screen. And replace it with your new replacement screen. Slide the connector back in the same way that you removed it from the old screen. Tape it back down, same way that it was. Carefully put your screen back into the frame that you removed the old screen from. Now reassembly is the opposite. You line the holes with your new screen back up with the frame, and you put the screws back in. I find it easier to put the top ones in first, then the bottom lines up a little bit easier. Now again, this is where the magnetic tip screwdriver would be a benefit. And you come back over to the other side. Start with the top and move down and do the bottom one. And I always leave the protective film on the screen during this process to avoid potentially scratching or getting any fingerprints or anything like that on the screen. And tighten these screws back down. Put your top screw back in up here. And come over to the other side and do the same thing. Tighten all your bottom screws. And put back in your top screw. And we'll take our bezel and snap it back around. Snapping it firmly as we go. Put our bottom two screws back in down here. Again, being very careful to line it up, because that hole is a little awkward to come at straight on. Place our black covers back over the screw hole. Same thing on this side. Tighten that up good and tight. Put the black cover back on that side. Place our battery back onto the bottom of the laptop. And turn it on. And that's really all there is to it. You've now fixed your laptop screen and saved yourself some money using this tutorial and laptopscreen.com. Be sure to check it out, and hope you enjoyed this tutorial.